Hello everyone, today we will be recapping the 2005 movie, Two for the Money. Let's get to it. Movie starts with childhood memories of main character Brandon. He got into sports from a young age because of his father's affection. He remembers first proudly smile and first disappointment on his father's face. Brandon's father left when he was 10 years old, but he never gave up sports. He played football in college and became a star. Disaster struck at his peak when Brandon broke his knee. He loved football too much to give up, so he took time to heal and come back to try play again. He got rejected many times though. Meantime, Brandon was working as handicapper, selling predictions of which team would win the match. He was so good at it, one day he received job offer from Walter Abrams, head of one of the biggest sports consulting operations in the United States. Our hero takes his offer and Walter takes him under his wing. After interview, Walter sends Brandon to nail salon. Here we meet Walter's wife, Tony Abrams. Talking to her acted as a test for Brandon. Walter wanted to ensure our hero was not a gambler himself. Everything went well, so Walter accommodates Brandon and starts to teach him how to sell. They try and succeed at inventing new personality for Brandon, called John Anthony. One day while listening and checking Brandon's new pitch, Walter suffers minor heart attack. It turns out he has heart problems, but does not care about it and lights up a cigarette. When it came to handicapping, Brandon's first predictions came true. 6 successful prognosis out of 6 possible matches. Walter was so happy, he invited Brandon for dinner, with his wife Tony. Night was going well, while Brandon saw beautiful lady named Alexandria, at nearby table. Walter bets $10,000, if Brandon will pick her up. Brandon accepts the challenge, but Walter sits him down and helps him, to get rid of 2 guys Beauty was with. That night Brandon will play booby grabbing with her. Next day Walter will introduce him with his co-workers and new office. He wants Brandon to pick and sell since big bettors don't want to talk to middleman. They like to talk with the guy who is picking. So Brandon must be best at selling, but he has problems with saying F word. Walter takes him at gambler rehabilitation meeting where he will start to advertise his handicapping business. That's why they got kicked out. Because of that awful move, Brandon gets angry and drops F-bomb to Walt, who smiles and explains that it was done for him, to make him say F word. From that point on, Brandon starts full transformation into John Anthony. His following predictions all came true and he became a sensation. Walter starts to build an empire around him. Brandon buys a new luxury car, starts being slick and even impresses everyone on the Walter's live TV show. Requests for his matches start to rise. Then he receives a call from his brother. They catch up and Brandon realizes, his father was trying to get hold of him, but Walter was blocking the calls. Understandably, Brandon gets angry about it and confronts Walter. In following iconic scenes, they open hearts and make up, after Brandon finding out that Tony and Walter had awful childhoods too. Following day, Brandon receives call from his mom, but he was interrupted by Walter, who informs him that the new biggest bettor wants to meet with Brandon. That was great news, but by the time Brandon continued call with his mom, she had already hung up. At that day, Brandon and Walter go to Puerto Rico to meet Mr. Novian. When they land, Walter explained how important it was to bag this guy. Brandon ensured he would enter in the role when they will get in the car. At that moment, it seems Walt is having heart attack again. Brandon rushes to him, but it turns out Walter was faking it. Brandon is angry and saddened, but Walter advises him to push as harder as he can when possibility arises. This stunt of his will keep Brandon's head in game. Later they finally meet with Mr. Novian. Brandon taps into John Anthony persona and gets a seemingly impossible deal with the billionaire. Brandon is getting sloppy at predicting the games though. This time he does not know what to predict for the last game, so he asks his newcomer salesman about it. Luck was at Brandon's side however, and not only they lend multi-million-dollar wins, they do it with 100% win rate. Everyone is happy and celebrating, except Jerry Sykes, Brandon's co-worker, who always was hostile to him. Our hero walks up to Walter to ask a raise, but gets fiercely turned down. Brandon goes to Alexandria inviting her to another date, but finds out that she was hired by Walt and finally realizes Walt was manipulating him. Destroyed and distraught, he does not give a good care for his job, hastily writes down prediction despite Walter's advice not to, and leaves to play golf. Of course they lose that weekend. Walt is saddened and offers to bump Brandon up, since he thinks Brandon did this because of an argument they had. In reality, Brandon is losing his touch. Deeper he goes into his John Anthony persona. He predicts outcomes of more matches, but all results in catastrophic failure. He even gets ambushed and assaulted by Mr. Novian and his henchmen in park. Next day Walt gets fed up with Jerry Sykes and his runts, so he fires him right before live TV show shooting. Brandon knows he must do something to fix the situation. He thinks he found solution, so he rushes to Walt to discuss it but runs into meeting. Walt took loan from dangerous people to cover his losses. Brandon knows huge pressure that's building on him, so he devises a plan. This John Anthony persona is not working out for him, so if he wants to start winning again, he must become his past self, a Brandon Lang. Walt agrees and Brandon starts doing his magic again. It did not help. They lost at that weekend too. Brandon knows his time is up. His hot winning streak became cold, he cannot continue and wants to leave, but Walter does not want to let Brandon go. Tony comes and tries to convince Walter to let Brandon leave, but ultimately they end up arguing and matter gets left unsolved. That night Walter visits Brandon while he was sleeping and tells him that he is leaving for Las Vegas to make some deal, so he won't be there for a day or two. Next night Brandon and Tony go for dinner together, they discuss Walter, and when at home door they kiss. Walter was watching them from afar. Turns out he have not left and was testing if his wife would cheat on him with Brandon. Tensions get high, stakes bigger, and Brandon is on the brink of breaking. He does not know what teams to pick, so he does ultimate move. Flips a coin and tells about it to Walter after delivering the notes. Walter gets frustrated, and with these picks he guarantees wins for everyone. After the show Brandon tries to stop him, but Walt says to Brandon that he is ruined anyway, and if Brandon can decide picks with a coin flip, he is fully capable of guaranteeing them. Gaming night comes and everyone is on edge. Everything is on stake. Brandon packs up, say his goodbye cryptically to Walter, and leaves the town. Walter was too focused on the game, so he did not understand what was happened. In the middle of the game he starts looking for Brandon but finds a note in his apartment declaring his leave. Tony enters the room and fully fires up, feeling of treason and abandonment in Walt, so he confronts her about cheating. Tony answered that Brandon knew Walter was watching, he knew Walter was gambling his relationship with his wife. That's why he asked Tony to play a scene of their kiss. She never cheated on Walter. Ongoing match ends with winning results for our heroes. Brandon watches it from airport and feels happy while Tony and Walter hug their argument out. At the end of the movie we see happy Brandon as a coach of a junior league football team.